Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, welcome back to another episode of Books and Buds, where we discuss two of the greatest things on planet Earth, books and buds. Today we're going to be getting back into independent writers. I haven't really touched upon much independent writers lately, and it's been really difficult because I have so many people in my to be read list that have been requesting that I read their novels, and these aren't just writers that I like. They're also writers that I work with. So I deeply respect them because I've been there throughout some of their journey. And I've published with a lot of them. And I know that their work is very good. So I've been trying to get to all of them. And I've been getting messages. So I just wanted to briefly describe some of the other writers that I have started reading. And what I do is if somebody sends me a book or if I download a free sample, I'll just read about a chapter or two to see if it's something that I'm going to like enough to do a review for. And so far on my list, I have P.C. Darkliff, his book, Deception of the Damned, which I have started completely reading. I read the first couple chapters about a month ago, and I said, okay, I'm going to finish reading this. And I ended up downloading the Kindle version so I could read it at the gym. So that's going to be the next indie author I get to after today's book, The Magic of Deben Market by... Sorry about that, David, by David Bowmore. So after PC, I'm trying to get to... I apologize about the way I pronounce your name, sir, but it's Aditya Deshmukh, Breath of the Void. He's a horror writer from India, and I just like the guy. Him and I have dealt with one another for quite a while on social media, and we've published a few times, and he's a good writer. So I wanted to get to his book. Now, that's a short story collection. That's another reason I'm taking a little while to get to it, because I just don't know how to review a short story collection. So I might just end up winging that one. But so far, I'm very impressed. I've read the first 3 stories, and I like it quite a bit. So hang in there, Aditya. I'd love to get to your book, and I will. Also, we have Amy Catherine Beckinsale. Now, her book, One Night Forever, I got an advanced review copy of that one because her and I are also... We are signed to Rhetoric Askew Publishing, and we've done an episode of Go Indie Now, and she's just a wonderful person. She wanted my point of view on her book, so she sent me an advanced review copy, and I will be getting to it, Catherine. Again, I started reading it. It's something that I know I can continue reading, and I will enjoy, so I put it to the side, and it's in my to-be-read list. And, of course, we got Stephen Lester Carr. He is a prolific short story writer. He's got over 300 short stories published, not just written, but published. So I haven't read all 300 because that's quite a bit of short stories, but I've read quite a bit of them. Him and I have been communicating for several years now on Facebook, and every time he publishes something, I try to read the short story when he publishes on an e-magazine. But he finally released his first novel, Redbird. And I was so excited about this because I love his work. So, Stephen, if you're watching, I will get to your book because I'm an admirer of yours, and I just think you're an amazing man, too, from what I gather on social media. I absolutely adore you, buddy. I will get to your book. Before I get to today's book, also, I got to do a little promotion for Books and Buds. So the Buds portion, our outdoor has... we originally tried getting rid of it to our fellow caregivers, but towards the end of the year, the outdoor is just so abundant that people are really not interested in it because they have a lot of their own, and they have people that are just getting rid of it to them left and right, and they're all competing with each other, so their prices go down, down, down. So what we did was we started handing out free samples to our actual patients, not the caregivers, but the patients. And, they worked with us, and we were able to give them a really good deal on their prescriptions. And it's just been slowly but surely going. But now that all the outdoor is pretty much weeded out of the market, it's been flying off the shelves. But I still want to let everyone know we got a little bit left. We still got about a quarter pound of Skywalker OG left. We have 1/4 pound of Lemon Kush remaining. That one seems to be pretty popular. Everyone likes that one. The Sour Bubble Outdoor. We still got 2 pounds of that left. And another favorite of everyone's is our sour diesel. We still got a pound of that left, so and we still got a few prescriptions in the back kicking around that are ready to go to customers. But once those are gone, we got to bust into these and break them up into individual prescriptions for everybody too. So don't worry, guys, we have it for you. And if you do like the regular indoor that we normally grow, tons of it. We have tons of it coming up, and we have many more strains because people have been asking for variety. So we're in the process of trying to find the new strains that a lot of people are going to enjoy. Jack Skellington is one that a lot of people don't like, but there's so many people that also really like it too. So we have been managing to throw a couple extra of those in each run just to satisfy those few people that for some reason love it. So everyone's got different tastes, and that's just the way it goes in this business. You got to listen to your community. You got to try to figure out what people want, and you got to try to work with them. Okay, that's enough of all that. On to this amazing book. David is just a wonderful, wonderful writer. I was blown away by this book. So he asked me to review this for him, and the second I read the very first chapter, I said, oh, this guy knows exactly what he's doing, and this is the kind of work I like. So this review is a bit biased because I am a literary freak. I just love literary fiction, and this guy was great. I never, ever give 5 stars to an independent writer, just ever, because they don't have the backing of the houses. They don't have all the editors that help them out. They don't have people telling them, this doesn't work, this does work, try to elaborate on this, maybe eliminate that chapter. So with that being said, most independent authors don't really impress me that well. This guy did. I've never given a 5-star review for an independent writer before. As soon as I'm done making this video, I'm going to head right on over to Amazon and do so, because David deserves it. So, what I'd like to say about this book is it's being sold as a short story collection. And like I said earlier with Adidia's book, I just don't know how to review a short story collection. Just pick a few stories that really stood out and discuss them? I don't know. But this book, it's not a short story collection because it's all based around this fictional town of Deben Market in the northeast coast of the UK. And each individual story, all the characters are intertwined throughout the rest of the stories. And it all revolves around this main story. These characters, Alistair, who's kind of a writer who stumbles upon this town, but he bumps into this older gentleman, he's an older fisherman named Moody Moore. And it revolves mostly around those characters. And all the other characters and all the stories, they make appearances. There was a few times I read somebody that came along and towards the end of the book, and I went, wait a second, this person was also in the beginning of the book. So it's a novel. It's just so interesting how he did it. And I've kind of thought to myself afterwards, well, geez, maybe that's something I can experiment with someday, because I just thought the art form was so wonderful and unique that sometimes as a writer you get a little bored kind of writing the same style, the same outline. Maybe I should do this someday to kind of just get me out of my box and experiment a little bit. So thank you very much, David, for getting me to think a little independently like that. I don't know what else to say about it beyond that, because I've read some reviews on it, and I don't want to give away too much, but people say it's just very magical and whimsical, and it is. This is a ghost book. It's a paranormal book. It's a literary book, which is why I loved it. It's wonderful. It intertwines so many different commercial genres into the literary fiction genre that you just kept reading and reading and reading. There was one story that involved, one chapter, I'll call it honestly, that involved a time traveler. There's ghosts in this particular book. There's one chapter with a guy whose reflection is its own independent person, his reflection in the mirror. It's him, but a different version of himself. and it's very creative, it's very clever, and it just revolves around this beautiful. The way he describes it, it seems beautiful. This beautiful fictional town on the coast of the UK. And I love the UK coast. I love it way more than London. And I just wanted to be there. I really did. I wanted to be there myself and hang out with these people. I just thought they were wonderful. So that's why I'm giving it 5 stars. I couldn't stop reading it. I loved it. So kudos to you, David. And when he sent it to me, he sent me this wonderful little letter too. He writes, "Here is a copy of the book that I promised. I really hope that you enjoy it. If you do get a chance to review, I would greatly appreciate anything you have to say, both the good and the bad." So he asked me to say the good and the bad. So David, it's going to be really hard to say something bad about your book, but you asked for it, so I will try to find something. And towards the end of the book, I was like, okay, all right, here's something I can probably say to just give him a little taste of the bad that he's asking for. There was one of the scenes in the Mooney Moore stories, one of the last Mooney Moore stories, where our main character, Alistair, he discovers who the bad guy is. And to me, it seemed a little rushed. Like, I wish that he kind of kept it to himself, because when he shouted who the bad guy is, I don't want to tell you why he's the bad guy. He said it loud enough so the bad person knew that Alistair was aware of his misdoings. And I understand why David did it, because he needed that conflict and that confrontation in one of the last chapters in the Mooney Moore series. But to me, I wish that he extended the drama out a little bit to where the bad guy got a little suspicious and ended up kind of finding out how this didn't know how the guy knew, but it didn't matter. He wanted to get him back anyways. I just thought it was too quick, too rushed. So that's all I got for criticism for you, Dave. So I tried. I really thought hard about where I could go to give you a little bit of negative criticism. And that was all I could really find, because I loved it. And also, to be fair to you, David, since I'm sure you're watching, I have yet to read, well, most books that I do read. I'm sure I've read a few that I just couldn't believe, couldn't put down. They're just perfect from front page to the back. But, I mean, even the bigwigs, I read like Dean Koontz, James Patterson, Stephen King, Emma Donoghue, J.K. Rowling's, Dan Brown. I can pick something out of all their books that just didn't agree with me. So it's just personal taste, buddy. But you did what you did, and it still worked. It was fantastic. But so there you go. There's the criticism you asked for. Other than that, dude, good job. You got 5 stars out of me. I loved it. One of the other things David did, and that I really appreciated, was he sent me a bunch of bookmarks. So look how cool they are. He signed each one individually. Now, I'm going to be keeping one for myself, and that leaves me with 3. So I want to kind of do a little giveaway for David. And what I figure is the first 3 people who comment on this review and share it on their social media, I'll put a stamp on an envelope and mail one of these to you guys if you PM me with your address. Hopefully that'll prompt you to buy a copy of his book as well, because it was really, really good. But what's cooler than getting a free bookmark? So give it a shot. If you're the first 3, I'll mail you one. That's that, everybody. I hope you enjoyed today's review. As always, you could have tuned into any book review channel on YouTube, but for some reason you chose to click on mine. I love the hell out of you for it. I'll be leaving a review for a link to David's book in the description below. Please click on it and give this man a chance. And like always, leave a review. Writers need it, especially independent writers. God bless, guys. We'll talk to you next time.